Actually, I think
Well,
Jenny's making me a margarita right now.
There you
Nice.
go.
damn.
That the Kimosabe stuff from South
What is
Padre.
that?
What do you got?
Truly?
What is that?
Truly?
Yeah, what
Is
is it?
that
Is it like an energy drink or like a
No,
energy
it's
alcohol?
5% alcohol.
really?
Ah,
Whatever.
yeah, yeah. Well, I'm
It
gonna
does the
keep
job.
it
Yeah.
very Valley today and represent with my Modelo here, Modelo Especial. I got some
Like it.
limes here, and
I love
just
Modelo.
it definitely takes me back to different places. Just like two or three beers, and you know, it's not even like that. Like the beers are great. It's that when I drink them, it reminds me of like times like going hunting or being at the ranch or being like it's another place, right? And every time I drink, it's like it takes me back. So that's at least that's what I tell myself. That's the reason I drink so many of them. Is because I'm getting older, forgetting a lot of stuff, and it's just easier for me to pound
Have you
beers and.
yourself getting out and doing stuff like that lately? Cause
No, I
no.
haven't had the chance. So I've been locked in here. We made it out to one of the parks here, and there's a little bit of it's a stock pond or whatever, and try to do
Yeah.
a little bit of fishing out there. But that was like the first time I actually got a line in the water in about 4 months. So it's
I haven't gotten a line in the water since I was with Ruby.
how long ago was that?
March?
Oh,
Oh
okay.
wow.
Well,
Really,
that's
that was the last trip.
Yeah, we didn't even know like what was going on like with the whole
Like,
coronavirus. We were all just like having fun, and then we get back and like we're relaxing, and then everybody's checking their phones, and we're all like, "What is going on?"
it happened
It's
fast.
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the whole country just like shut down. But and I really, you know, yeah, it's I've been wanting. I was trying to go out fishing sometime in March and have that chance, and it just like, and now I don't know when I'm going out. So we'll figure it out here over the next few
And,
weeks. But
and the weather's been crazy. The past 2 weekends, I've planned myself like, oh, I'm gonna go weight fishing. I'm gonna go weight fishing. It's like weather's not permitting at all on the weekends.
Hey
yeah,
man, I invited you, so
I know.
Wait, so where are you
Again,
guys all from then?
I'm from Edinburgh.
Edinburgh, okay.
yeah. And then I'm from the Valley as well too, but I'm actually living in Houston now. I've lived
Oh,
in Houston before, and then kind of went down for the Valley, and then now I'm back here for work. I'm actually out in Katy right now, so
oh,
calling
nice.
from the west side of town. Yeah, so.
Oh,
But guys, we're live here, and I think people are starting to trickle in here, and so this is the I'd rather be fishing happy hour, and so we all kind of going around, and we talked about it here a little bit of it. We all got our drinks here, and we're gonna hang around and talk like if we were at a bar somewhere, and be part of this virtual happy hour. Which I have to say, I had some practice last night with the virtual happy hour. It was like me and my coworkers. It was a very awkward thing, really. Like it was the first, like I guess other groups had been doing it, and they've been doing it on Microsoft Teams, and so we did it. We tried it last night, and first it was a little bit difficult. I mean, it's just like you put us in a room, and like maybe we can talk about work, and then like actually for like the first 5-10 minutes, it was all about work. It's like, oh man, like we're like you're just sitting around drinking beer, talking about work. It's like, no, I'd rather be talking about fishing. And so this is definitely a lot more fun than that. But I did get some practice. But yeah, welcome to our show. We've got Ruby and
Thank you
Cindy.
guys.
Obviously, you guys have a big influence here, and kind of we just jump right into it. So, the first question I have for you guys is, you know, like we talked about it, or Cindy kind of alluded to it, but when was the last time you guys were out fishing on the water?
we
DOA
had
event.
the DOA media event in early March, and
Yeah,
Cindy and a bunch of
that was the
girls.
first time for me because Ruby's been on the water. She sent us the day.
And like we have so many captains, so and then so many riders, sponsors, um, and so Brian, what he does, like he puts people on each boat, each captain's boat. So I've never had Cindy. We've done this. How many have we been doing? How many has there been? Like maybe 5 or so.
I think so.
And each time I've never had Cindy on the boat. So finally I got her on my boat, and we always have fun, a
So
fun
you just
time.
like it's just like randomly assigned, and just by coincidence it happens or it doesn't happen.
Yeah, like
No, it's
she-
Brian's decision. I'm pretty sure.
Right,
Pretty clear.
And you said that was the
This
DOA?
time let us go on the boat together. So
mhm.
we had a really good trip. Actually, we were sight casting redfish all over the place. So
And how long of a
It was a
trip is
little
that?
windy,
Like,
but-
yeah. How long do you guys go out there for?
Like 5 hours, you know,
Yeah.
5 or 6 hours.
And how many different boats were out there with y'all? I mean, how big of a group is this that's going out there to?
Oh my God, this group
this
was
last
big.
one was big.
Yeah.
So I would say like what, 10 boats maybe
Oh.
less.
10 boats?
I think
Yeah.
so.
This
Oh,
last
wow.
one was pretty big. We had some pretty good sponsors show up, and it was quite a bit of us out there.
But when you
So-
say media, like, is it just like photos, videos? I mean, is that what they're trying to capture, or?
Yeah, we're just out there
DOA.
creating content. So
Yeah, content for DOA, and we have writers for magazines, so
Oh, okay.
they'll write about each trip and stuff like that. So
Oh, that's
Okay.
cool. I guess like I
using
was
DOA lyrics.
I was tuned in a little bit, and like kind of the part that like obviously the fishing looked like a blast, but the part that really stood out with me was like the after fishing things, like the food and like the drinks. It seemed like every day there was like something going on there, and like
this last one, I think I just stayed the entire time. Maybe next time I'll
Cindy
break
made
it up a
some
little
good
bit.
oysters.
I
my
think
God.
She
that's what
brought
I was.
them down from, I forget where'd you bring those
I
down
got
from?
Sea drift,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
they were probably the best oysters I've had all season and maybe ever.
Yeah.
That bad. Yeah, it was
Just
pretty awesome.
because it's the people you were with and the people you were around. I mean, there's something about the context
yeah.
and the environment. Yeah.
I like the way she says, yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, that had to have been it. Yeah. So Ruby, you're out there fishing. I mean, you've been out fishing here. I guess fishing opened up. I guess a few days ago. And what's the fishing been like over the last few days?
Oh my gosh. So, you know, it's been good on the weekdays, but on the weekends, I mean, it's tough. You got so many boats out there, and a lot of people that just some have respect, some don't, you know. So they're just cutting your drifts off, and you know, you kind of just have to ignore it. But it is tough. It's a lot of pressure in the water, and it's really tough to get your clients on a limit, or you know, just the fish are just constantly moving. They're just not staying put, and it's hard.
Yeah.
So I
On-
kind of
on the weekends.
weekdays, you know.
Yeah.
On the weekends for sure, but the weekdays have been good. You know, we've been getting some solid stringers and stuff.
I
So
think we're going to experience that for at least another few months, man. I think people are
Oh,
just
yeah.
itching to go out, and
Oh,
that's the
yeah.
only time they have.
and you can't blame them, you know. So
Yeah.
I mean, fishing's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
And Cindy, when are you getting out on the water again? I mean, we're gonna kind of put you on the spot a little bit here. What are your plans?
You know what? I'm really hoping to get out at least by my birthday at the end of the month.
All right.
So we'll see. I've been in the office. So since this whole COVID stuff, like our business has gone like crazy.
In a
And
good
I
way
don't-
or in a bad way? Yeah.
In a good way.
Okay, good.
Well, because I work for Railblazer USA
Oh,
here in
okay.
Houston, and you guys are familiar with it if you
Yeah.
kayak or boat and stuff like that. And man, it has been insane since everybody's been at home on the internet, basically. So yeah, so I've been in the office 6 days a week, and just making sure everybody else is still being able to fish.
And so by
What do
the
you-
office, yeah, like by the office, you mean like you're working from home, or you're actually going into an office? Or?
Going in, like
yeah.
yeah, going into the office every day, and we're shipping out. We're shipping out to all the big box stores and like 700 other local mom and pop shops, and then we also sell in the other avenues as well. But it's been crazy.
And
When
like
you do fish, where do you normally go? Like, what areas? Are you
Oh.
in the Houston area or down here? Or?
Yeah, I grew up here in Houston. I was born and raised in Houston, Texas. I fish here quite a bit in the marsh, and I kayak fish.
She likes it down here better.
I definitely try to get down there. She's right.
well,
We do that a
like
lot.
Down there as much as I can.
yeah, we talk about pressure out here. I mean, I like Houston. There's a lot of pressure on the water too, like just as much, right?
But that's why I love kayak fishing a lot where I'm at, because I feel like I can just go where boats don't run me over, and there's a lot of really good marshlands around where we're at, so that's pretty good. But if I had a choice, I'd be sight casting down in,
Down with Ruby.
Ruby. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
On a boat or a kayak?
I don't care.
On a boat.
She'll find it.
Ruby, you don't.
Have you gone on the kayak yet?
She'll find the fish, and I'll just cast.
Well, Ruby, have you gone on the kayak part?
No, I don't like it.
Really?
But you've tried it. You've tried it to say that you
I've
don't
tried
like.
it.
Yeah.
I've tried it, but not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how did
I've been
you?
around boats my whole life, you know.
Your dad works with that, right? That's right.
My dad, he used to work for Shallow Sport for 14 years, and then he did his own business. So he's been doing that for about 30 some years. It's called Manny's Boat Repair. So you can imagine, since I was a little girl, we've been blessed to have a boat. You know, Shallow Sport. We grew up with Shallow Sport, so I've always had a boat, and we've been fishing since forever. I can't even, And I grew up in Port Isabel, so our backyard was literally a bay. So I would just fish off my dock or get on the boat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, really
so,
cool.
How did you two guys like obviously I see a lot of you you two going out there, and maybe it's just a perception, but you guys are out there fishing quite often together. Or when Cindy's out there fishing in the valley, you guys are out fishing. So how did you two guys hook up? Was it through DOA or?
No, it was through Dana Wise. He he wrote an article. It was called "Ladies of the Coast," right, Cindy?
Yeah.
And it was me, you, and Sally Black.
It's like Meredith McCord was on there. And
Yeah, Meredith. And so I went up there to Houston for what was it? Not the fishing show, the boat show. It was a boat show.
January.
And then I met her. And Dano introduced us, and then we just linked up, and I told her to come down and fish, and
yeah, usually it doesn't take
how
much
long
more
ago
than
was that?
yeah. What's that?
How long ago was that?
Years.
Maybe 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It seems like that's. I mean, I want to say about maybe 2-3 years when that whole I started noticing a lot of people started doing articles and started doing segments on the women anglers. Because it really hasn't been that long where they've actually concentrated on the women anglers type of thing. So it seems it was around that time that did you all notice that people were kind of hitting you up more about that, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's been about the last 6 years.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
With Columbia, right?
Yeah, with Columbia, and then now I think people are now they're starting to see that they need to do it. When I hopped on with Columbia, it was kind of like let's get out there and let's try to do something. And now it's like everybody is like we need to get you guys out there.
Yeah.
That video you shared, Ruby, that was Columbia, right? That segment on the three women anglers.
Yeah. Me, Cindy, and Kelly.
Okay. So how long has Columbia been doing that? You said about 6 years that they've actually been doing full segments on that?
Oh yeah, I've been with them now for like the last 6 years. So I'm their female fishing athlete, and
cool.
Yeah, so I've been on the team now for PFG for the last 6 years. It's been a pretty cool ride. They've sent me all around the world and even down to South Texas, hanging out with Ruby. We got to do some
was
cool
awesome.
stuff with Columbia so far, and yeah, you'll see our mug in all the big box stores this spring.
Nice.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So
Somebody tagged me yesterday at Dick's, and Ruby's probably going to be all over Bass Pro here in a couple of weeks if she's not already.
That's very cool. So out of all the places you've gone out and gone fishing, what are some of the cool places or your most memorable places that you've been out to?
Just fishing in general?
Yeah, fishing related, absolutely, yeah.
I'm going to say Florida is like my first, I instantly think of Florida and tarpon fishing. But if international wise, Cabo San Lucas was probably the best fishing trip I've ever had in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah.
What was it about that place that just...
You know what it is? I fish with Wesley Bro. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him. or seen any of his media, but on Instagram he's Cabo Surfcaster, and it was basically fishing from the beach with a 12-foot rod.
Nice.
So you're one-on-one, right, with fish, and right there at the shoreline, you're catching pelagic fish from the beach. Like I
Really?
grew up,
Yeah.
I grew up fishing in San Luis Pass, camping since I was a kid and stuff. And so when I went down there, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. I doubt I'll be able to do this, but I got a hang of it really quickly. A lot of ibuprofen the first night. And then
Why?
went back
Just
out
like
there.
just from fighting fish, or like being beat up by the fish, or
Well, just like trying to get your form right when you're trying to cast
I
a
get it.
12-foot rod
Yeah.
and run
Right.
the waves.
Yeah.
I'd run with a rod, cast, run back before the waves caught me, and
Right.
then and you're casting like big stick shads, like huge, baits, and so it was really cool. And I caught some amazing things: Colorado's, Cubera, a yellowtail.
Wow.
Yeah,
Just
I-
yeah.
yeah, hamachi. Can you believe that? Right off the beach.
Off from the beach.
I'm gonna say that was probably the best fishing trip I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
But
So-
if I
yeah.
have to choose, it's gonna be wherever somebody says the fish is on. So
Yeah,
Usually-
that can be anywhere. Yeah.
And that's how, like, that's what happened when when she brought Columbia down here to Arroyo City. Like, she had just finished fishing with me and Kelly, and they were on their way back to Houston, and then she gets the call from Columbia, and they asked you, like,
yeah,
Where do
actually, I was on the water snook fishing with Brian and Kelly when Columbia called me, and then like, all right, well, think about where you want to do this next film and photo shoot and stuff. And I was like, so go back and forth because for me, like, it's between Texas and Florida, right? This is where I
Yeah.
spend most of the time, but we were already on fish down in South Texas, and to me, I don't like to go find fish if it's already
It's right in front of you, right? Yeah.
right back.
they only give us, like, 2 days,
Yeah. They only gave us a couple of days to like kind of figure it out, and usually that's how these kind of projects pop up.
Like
out of nowhere.
it just says like, hey, 2 days from now you got to go somewhere, and you can go here, or is that kind of how it works, or?
No, usually my marketing team will come to me with the project, and if they don't already have an idea set up and a location and everything, then they'll reach out to me and say, hey, we need this species, and we want females with you. We want to see you with your friends or whatever it may be at that time. And this one, it just happened to be like a female kind of focused piece, and what better to do than with my best friend? So we
Absolutely.
went back to this.
Yeah.
And I think Columbia is doing a heck of a job. I've seen a couple of those segments, or those, I mean, they're not even segments. They're like 30-minute long videos. And,
Oh yeah, some of them are
they're awesome.
12-minute long videos. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Good.
Yeah, man. And it seems like they're definitely spearheading this whole idea. It seems like Columbia is the one that people are kind of trying to follow and kind of jump on that bandwagon of, focusing on the women anglers. And, even I think when we first started 4 years ago, that's the first thing people told me. He goes, you want to target two things. It's women and kids. And because it seems like they're more passionate than a man when they actually get into the sport. And I'm like, it made sense, and it's actually run true. So it's like Columbia's they had a pretty good idea there.
Yeah, it's definitely a good market, a good segment out there. And so Ruby, like, so you're a guide, and how long have you been guiding?
Like 3 years, but like 2 full-time.
Okay, what were you doing, like, kind of where you were transitioning to becoming a full-time guide?
I was actually working in the hospital in Valley Baptist. I used to work for the Headache and Pain Center,
Uh-huh.
and then I moved to San Antonio, and I was there for 5 years, just doing odd jobs. I just didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't know really what my purpose was. And I came back down to the valley because my dad needed some help with work, as far as getting more clients in. He's really old school. He doesn't know how to use a computer, phone, or nothing like that. So I made him I made him a Facebook page, and then once I did that, I mean, his business just skyrocketed. So I had a lot of free time, and I just went fishing a lot, and um, people started recognizing me, like seeing that I actually like know how to do everything on my own, and Jimmy Burns from Waterloo like reached out to me, and he wanted me to be part of the pro team, and it started from there. I went and got my captain's license, and so I definitely, like, when I was younger, I definitely didn't like think like, oh, I'm gonna become a guide when I grow up. Like,
Yeah.
I've been through so much. Like, when I was 17, my mom passed away, so I had to grow up really fast, and I just didn't know what I was gonna do in college or anything like that.
Yeah.
It just hit me, So
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason.
yeah. I mean, I'm a big believer in perspective, right? And so, like, the more you live, the kind of the different things, your different experiences, some good, some bad, your perspective on life changes. And I always find it interesting, when people, especially growing up in the valley, like, a lot of people have the mindset, I can't wait to get out of the valley. I can't wait to get out of the valley. And a lot of people live their life waiting to get out of the valley, never doing it. And then some people do leave the valley, and then they come back, right? Because they're like, hey, I went and I saw everything else, and, I'm fine right where I'm at. Like, it's just like, but you need to have that, right? You need to go touch that hot stove, and you need to go make sure that, like,
you need to be on your own, be away from your family.
yeah, you grew up a lot like that. You grew up pretty fast. And like you
Yeah.
said, sometimes things happen to us in life, and you just, like, they kind of put you in a corner, and, like, what are you going to do, right? Like you're going to stay in the corner, or you're going to come back fighting it and
Right.
make the most of it. So
Yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah.
like, I mean, obviously Ruby was saying she grew up with this. Cindy, did you grow up, I mean, in the outdoors as a little girl, or is this something new to you?
No, I grew up with it. My family were commercial fishermen, and
Oh, okay.
I grew up with a lot of sea in my life. And here in growing up here in Houston, like, we didn't have a boat, so unless like we went down to Silver with my family and stuff, and down there, they have a crabbing business down there. But other than that, like, I did a lot of jetty fishing and camping on the beach a lot growing up. And so that's how it kind of started. But with the advent of social media, it kind of all took off. Like, I love telling stories, of fishing, and I posted some of this stuff several years ago, and it just kind of grew from there. So I made some really awesome connections in the industry, and here we are today.
And how long you been with Railblazer?
I've been on their pro team probably for 4 or 5 years now, but
Oh, okay.
actually as an employee, I just started in March.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm full-time employee there.
oh, congratulations, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That's
So that
awesome.
was my dream, right? To like
Yeah.
work in the fishing industry.
Absolutely,
And
like,
get paid.
Yeah, no.
Somehow you gotta figure it out somehow, right?
yeah,
Um,
like what you guys are saying is so true. Yeah,
After the first media event with Ruby, and DOA down in South Texas, I came home and I was like, I was just debating. Like, I had been for months. Like, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna quit this job. I hated it.
where you're at right
Yeah.
now, or where you
You
at
just
before?
gotta-
Yeah, I mean, but you get so comfortable and so complacent, right, with these
Yeah.
things. You get scared because I'm like, what am I going to do about insurance? What am I going to do about,
Yeah.
what am I going to tell
Yep.
my parents? I quit my job like pretty late. But I don't know, I took a leap and I had a lot of support with me. And so I did that for a year, a little over a year now. And then in January, I walked into the Railblazer office and I was like, what you guys up to these days? And their business has been booming me. They've been around for like a decade now, and so
Yeah.
it's a 10-year anniversary. And I was like, well, if there's a place for me, let me know. And like, I have a supply chain background, so it kind of, they were like,
Lend
wait,
itself,
what? Let's get in there. So
That's so cool. Especially it's something that you like to do. It's something related
I
with the
know. Well,
kayak.
it's
So
like I have the best of both worlds. It's like something that I went to school for and learned how to do, and now I'm applying it in the fishing industry, and it's
Yeah.
dream come true. So
Yeah, it has
Crazy, right? Crazy
Yeah.
how that just falls in your lap, falls into
no, I don't
place.
even think, like, the day I started, I don't even think it hit me yet. I was like, because I'm just used to hanging out with the guys and fishing and just creating content with them, and then I walked in and I was like, are you guys actually going to give me an offer letter?
Like what's?
Like, this is a real job now. Staff out good, and I haven't fished since.
I think what people don't see is that, I mean, like Ruby said, things kind of like fall into place, and they do. But I mean, you guys have been grinding for a while, though.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like
Yeah.
yeah.
It's not going to come to you in a year, It's a long time.
We're always out there doing something, and I know that there's projects that we're gonna be working on here pretty soon, probably. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's a
Out
great.
there and create more content.
It's a great thing when you can, when these things intersect, like what you enjoy doing and what you're good at, right? Like usually, like they're different things for a lot of people, and just because a lot of people don't have like it's difficult. Like you said, it's hard for you to quit a job.
You got to balance it just a little bit,
Absolutely, yeah, fair enough.
Working in the fishing industry and not fishing, not getting to fish, kind of burns you out just a little bit sometimes.
Yeah.
But
preaching to the choir.
Jaded, like for a whole year, I got to I would call Ruby up when I was bored. I'm like, what's going on down there? She's like, fishing's hot. Come down here. And so I'd pack my truck up and go down there and fish with her, and then you just kind of get jaded after a while because you're like, man, I can fish anytime I want. So now it's like, what else is there to do next, right? And so my little creative cat is like itching right now, so I need to get out there and
we need another girls trip.
Yeah, I need to collaborate with Kelly and get out there and do some stuff too with you. So I feel like it's been a while for the three of us anyways. Actually, so this is my birthday month, and last year I got Kelly to go with me to the Everglades, and so that was
wow.
So that
was our first time. Well, my first time and Kelly's first time there.
And it was amazing. Kelly hooked, but did not get to land a tarpon. So we're going to have to try to do something like that again soon. But yeah, we've been talking.
So much fun.
You guys go all out with that then.
I know. You guys are like everywhere.
We were there for a week.
Yeah.
We were there for a week. And I swear to God, we probably got maybe 5 hours of sleep through that whole freaking week.
We started off in Miami to Stewart to the Keys, back to Miami. It was insane. But
even though it was like that, I mean, you don't regret it, right? It was just you were going like that because of the energy that was flowing. Yeah.
Almost mentally, we're like, look, this is not a relaxing sleeping trip. And we're gonna make some moves here. And we did. We ended up we fished the Everglades. I put them. My friends put them on their first peacock bass.
Nice.
It was awesome. Yeah. So.
We got a story out of it too, or Kelly did.
Yeah. Fishing. I wish Kelly was on here today with us. I should have just told her to come over.
Yeah, one day.
No kidding.
Yeah, I thought about it. I was like, man, I should have told her to come over, but I'm about to be Kelly's neighbor here soon. I'm actually moving about 10 minutes away from her. So
cool.
We'll be able to get out there and do some more stuff together.
See, but when you guys say content, I mean, obviously, I know what you mean when it comes to videos and things to write about, but who's this for? Is it something that y'all have, or is it for the companies you work for? What are you getting this content for?
Yeah,
we're creating content. I would say that it would be just for all of our sponsors, and then also to kind of build your portfolio and get out there, and then work with other folks as well. So, I mean, being connected in the fishing industry with everybody, you never know what's going to come knocking on your door.
Right.
Yeah. And do any of y'all write for anything?
No.
I'll freelance sometimes for takemefishing.org, but and then I have my own blog, but it's a little backed up these days.
You're busy. Yeah. So Ruby's
great writing.
Yeah.
But I definitely take
fish with Ruby and take pictures of her. She's so photogenic, and then we write a story using her photo.
So Ruby, now that you're since you become a guy over the last few years, has it changed fishing to you? Obviously, going out and where people are paying you to take them fishing is very different than you just kind of getting together with your dad or your cousins and going out on the water. So I mean, is it how does
it's
it change?
Actually it's crazy. It's crazy because I grew up fishing with my friends and my family and everything like that. But once you start teaching other people that have never fished before, or they have, or whatever. It's more like rewarding to just kind of like teach them and then kind of sit back and watch them enjoy it, because I've been doing this my whole life. So like I already know that feeling. So for them to come on my boat and like for me to see them like really excited, their first fish, their first personal best, whatever, it's just, I can just sit back and just, be cool with it. And I could just congratulate them, take a picture for them, and let them like, have those memories for their family, and,
Yeah, I think that's the part
But you definitely like need to, like if you're gonna get in the industry, like you definitely need to be in that already in your mindset, like on that level. Because if you're not enjoying like, teaching them, or you get frustrated or whatever, then it's really not for you. It's all about customer service.
Yeah.
Even if the fishing's hard, like you still need to entertain the people.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have that, you don't have that skill set. If you don't do like I grew up doing like all these crazy jobs, like I was a deckhand on a parasail boat when I was a kid. Like, that's all customer service, just other crazy jobs. But that like, you have to have customer service for these kind of jobs,
Absolutely. Like I think I was talking to someone the other day, and I was actually talking to Andy Salinas about this today, and we were talking about it. And I said, as a fishing guide, like you're selling an experience is what you're doing, right?
All
and
right.
Catching fish is part of it, right? But I mean, you can go out and catch a crap load of fish or limit out, but if you're a jerk or now some people have a bad experience on top of that, like
they'll talk about it with the next guy that they hire.
Absolutely,
that they had a bad experience, and you don't want that. You like.
So you guys, I mean, obviously, I would say a good percentage of your clients are word of mouth. I mean, you have a bad experience, and I mean, obviously, I'm going to go back and tell them about the bad experience, not about the good things we had. I mean, it's more of the bad stuff.
Yeah, well, it's word of mouth and repeat customers, from what I understand, right? So it's the combination of both of those that are going that. So we have a few questions here. So DK is asking. He's thinking about buying a boat. He lives up in Houston. Any advice on what would be a good boat for him to kind of get into fishing in the bay?
Well, you have to really think about it. So he's going to be in Houston. So obviously, Cindy, like Houston is on on bad days. Like you definitely like a V-bottom boat, right, to handle the chop. Up there, I would think a nice V-bottom boat to be able to go shallow and handle the rough seas. Like down here, if you're going to buy a boat down here, well, I would recommend Shallow Sport, because that boat can go. I mean, all are like Lower Laguna Madre is all shallow water, right?
Quite a bit of tunnel holes over here as well, but
yeah.
You're gonna find a boat. To me, it's like you're never gonna find a boat that does it all. Just not. It's not gonna be right. But because there's always gonna be that one little thing that you want.
It's areas. I mean, it's areas.
You're gonna want to upgrade. Just
okay. Right? So start small. Yeah. So start small is probably
definitely
if you're gonna fish.
Start small.
And make sure you like it. Yeah. So. And get that V hole. So obviously so Shallow Sport has like that modified. When I was living in Houston, I was fishing out of a Blue Wave that had kind of that big V in the front and a little bit of a tunnel in the back, and it was easier to, like you said, take that chop when it was coming in. Those 3-4 swells that you would normally see offshore, you see them as you're crossing the bay or crossing the canal to go over to the opposite side. Jacob was asking if that was a pug in the background. So I think we got a close up of the pug right now, and.
Yeah.
It seems like he's a little bit upset. It sounds like he's upset he didn't get any of that margarita. So
it acts like he has margarita all the time. Actually.
Well, no, I just think he knows it's Friday.
He's been coming to work with me since this whole thing started.
So margarita's at work, and that I'm jealous now. Like
I know. So I know. I told you, dream job. He's our moral support in the office, when we're just like, holy crap, how many days a week are we working here?
Yeah.
Finn's the happy one. Like everybody, you can't walk past him without him.
And I definitely can't bring my dog near me, because he will he'd be the loudest one in the room. He's
You're
a beagle,
right?
so yeah, he's so loud.
And they have that bowl of a bark. It's not even a bark.
I mean, it echoes like my eardrums are like, damn.
Hey Ruby, and with I mean, obviously we can't ignore the that cool background you have. What started that? Like, what was the I guess the inspiration to actually start that brand?
Well, there's just a ton of male brands out there, and I don't really see a lot of female brands, you know. And I was like, you know what, I need to make something really cool and make some hats and some shirts for these girls and little girls, you know, get them involved and, you know, maybe do like a pro staff or you know, or if they keep their grades up. I've always wanted to do like if they, you know, maintain a good GPA, I'll give them free stuff, free shirts, free hats or whatever, you know. But it took me a while to get that name. I had to really search and see if anybody had it, but it just clicked, you know.
Have you been using that for a while, like that name or that branding at all?
Yeah. Or? Well, since I started my guide business, so yeah, 3 years.
Okay.
And that's what you call your guide?
Yeah, Southern Salty Girl.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I know. I'd seen it on shirts and stuff like that. I wasn't aware that kind of that's the name of your guide.
DOA, like I helped them a lot at the fishing shows and stuff in Houston and McAllen. So they're super nice enough to let me have my hats and my shirts in their booth and sell them there. And I mean, every time I took it, I had product. I mean, it would sell out, you know.
Yeah.
So now I'm just like, I took a step back, but I think I need to push it a little bit more and start making more hats and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just cool to see like again that I keep calling it a movement, I guess, but it's like it's just really cool to see how more people are being more and more involved in what you guys are doing. I mean, again, we've had the show with Laurel, we've had a previous show with her and other people. It's like it's just becoming more of a and I don't even want to say level playing field, but again, it's just so cool to see that there is no playing field anymore. It's just an angler. You're an angler, period. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. Like, you're an angler.
Great.
And it's definitely happening. It's becoming more and more prevalent. And I think what you guys are doing are causing that. And it's really cool to see that, especially people from the Valley, you know, to be able to be a part of that. Because, I mean, Columbia DOA, those are huge. I mean, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the way I see it. It's like we grew up, you know, doing all this stuff as a kid, right? A lot of people don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could be intimidated by it. You know, I know I have friends, and I think that's one of the biggest questions I always get from like people who like message me stuff. They're like, "Hey, like, how do I get my kid to like fishing? You know, how do I get my girl to like fishing? How do I get my wife to like fishing? You know, what is it about it that you did or you were honestly you just have to have fun. You got to take the pressure off and get out there and like Ruby's like
clear your mind.
Experience, huh?
I said clear your mind.
Right, clear your mind.
I made a video like recently, and it just.
And you know, it's like it's imperative too to the industry, to be honest with you, because you know, women control a lot of what gets bought in a household. You know, and you want to get women more out in the outdoors. You want to see women taking their kids out and you know, backing up a boat like Ruby does, and you know, taking their kids out there and experiencing all of that. Because you know, if you don't teach it and we don't promote those things, like, to me, that's what social media is. It's like social media can be a double-edged sword, right? Yeah. So I don't have any children, but I know that if I did, I think it would be, you know, a struggle to balance that out, because you have, you know, iPads and phones and things like that now where kids are just indoors all the time, and then to get them, you know, to be outdoors and doing more things, you just have to reach, you know.
Like go ahead, sir.
No, it's important. Yeah, I mean the hard. It's easy for any kind of parent to give their kid an iPad, right? It's like their kid, like, has something like, here,
Babysitter.
do this, yeah, like do this and entertain yourself. It's hard for you to say, like, grab your kid and say, let's go outside or let's go fishing or let's go do that. So there needs to be more of that,
And
absolutely.
that's the thing. I think a lot of moms might be intimidated by that, or like they don't know where the resources are to get a fishing rod or learn how to
Yeah.
fish and do
Or-
that. And that's where people like Ruby come into
Absolutely.
play. Because she's a female, and going out on the boat with her is very comfortable. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, for a mom and kids and stuff like that. So.
I
Yeah,
think that's where the industry is growing so easily, is because you have those women who before wouldn't want to ask a guy, hey, what kind of a fishing pole do I buy or whatever. Now you have a woman who's able to relate to another woman. So that's just allowing the whole market and the whole, industry to grow, because you have now people who wouldn't be involved are now wanting to be involved because they're seeing, hey, I can do
But
it.
I get a lot of questions on the daily, like on my messenger, of women asking for tips or what rod should I buy, or just start off with and stuff like that. So I get that a lot.
Yeah.
yeah. I
And
think
I'm
what,
willing to help. I'm willing to answer that.
Yeah.
one of the things that stood out, I can't remember, I heard it from Laurel or from someone else, but it was like, hey, if you want, like, if for a guy, right, if you want like your girlfriend or your wife to get into fishing, like, have her go with someone else that's not you, like, right, like have her go with someone like Ruby or like Cindy, right, or like even like another
Yes,
guy.
I have a lot of patience.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good a piece of advice. Only because, when it's like your significant other,
Yeah,
you get a little too comfortable, you know what I mean? Sometimes with what you're saying and how you're saying, oh, my dogs are going crazy. And everything.
well, they want some of that margarita. I mean, just
know.
just
I think they're all drinking it.
I know. Finn
And I
is
think-
rambunctious baby, and like he's not the alpha in the group, okay?
Uh-uh.
But he's bigger than everybody else, so it pass him around. Poor thing.
That's so cool. And Ruby, do you ever see that men are intimidated of booking the trip with you,
No.
or hesitant at all?
No. A lot of what I do notice is like when I'm going out there by myself to like scout and stuff, I'll be like by myself putting the boat in the water and everything, and there'll be like other guys next to me like launching their boats, and they'll be like, "You going by yourself?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh my God, you're brave," or like or like they're scared to do it. And I'm just like, no, it's really nothing to it, Like when you grow up doing it, like shouldn't be scared. To
Yeah.
go by yourself, unless it's like a northern coming or it's a really bad storm, then I'm definitely not going out there, But
Yeah.
but if it's a nice day, I'm gonna be out there.
I think it's cool. I mean, the next step
But-
is to see like
I just get a lot of respect, from men.
I was going with it is that I think that's the next step where, I think people are still going to be very, hesitant, or a man's going to be hesitant. I'm not going to ask her for advice and things of that sort. But I think it's getting there. It's getting to that point where you're seeing more and more women fishing where, I mean, I'm not as great a fisherman as you guys are. I'm definitely going to ask for advice because I see what you guys are able to do.
And I also think it's because I also like put out videos and stuff of
Absolutely,
me
yeah.
fishing, so I think
Yeah.
like they see like, oh, okay, she knows what she's doing or whatever, So
yeah, you become approachable.
So I think
in
that's
that
why
comment,
they're like, okay, now I can, and a lot of people ask about boat stuff, because I've seen it all. My dad has showed me since I was little, like what could happen. Like,
Is OG, okay?
mhm.
Ruby's dad. I was just talking to him the other night, and we were talking about all the different experiences we had with your dad.
I know.
He can make
He's-
anything happen for us. So
Yeah, he's crazy. So like one time she was supposed to fish with me. I think it was the first time, Cindy, that you were gonna fish with me. Yeah. And
I
just
think
had,
it's the first
like,
time I came
weird-
down to myself to fish with you.
maybe. And I just had this weird feeling that my boat trailer was just something was gonna happen that morning. So I don't know, I just had this weird feeling. So we have this like I go down 510. There's this railroad track I have to go over every time. Well, I was like, something's gonna happen. I don't know. I had this gut feeling, and as soon as I went over that railroad track, I just hear a and like another noise, and I'm like, oh my God! Like, don't tell me that was my trailer. So I go turn around. So I'm not that far from my house. I turn around. I just park, and I just like sat there for a second. I was like, oh my god. So I get out, and my axle's broken.
Oh man.
My tire's blown out. The one in front's blown too. And so Cindy was already like on her way, and I was like, can you just like stop at my house and tell my dad, like wake my dad up and like tell him that we need 2 tires. But I didn't know the axle was broken yet. And I was like, we need 2 tires. So they come back with 2 tires, and he's looking underneath. He's like, did you not notice like the axle's broken? And I'm like, oh my god, what do we do? You know, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
So he changed one tire out that the axle, like, I guess, didn't ruin. And the other one, well, we had to take the tire out. So we took the tire out. So it's a tandem. So one has a tire, one doesn't. So we were just like, well, what's next? What are we going to do? So my dad's like, let's go in the truck. Let's go cut up a bunch of pieces of plywood, like blocks. Just cut a bunch of pieces. And we're going to jack it up and wedge it under there and just slide that sucker all the way home. So that's what they did. My brother's driving the truck, and my dad, every now and then we had to like put another block under there because the street would just shave it off. So it was probably like a mile away.
Thank goodness it wasn't more than that.
Yeah.
We walked over and got like barbacoa while they were doing this, and then we come out and we're like, oh, they're a little further down. Like we just run down there, catch up with them.
But he got
I don't know how he got home, but you know what?
He got it home, and we had an extra trailer, so he put it. You know, he lifted the boat up, got that trailer out, put the other one under there, and fixed whatever needed to be fixed, and we went out fishing same day.
Because her boat was damaged that day from it, and he took it home with that broken axle, fixed the boat, put it on another trailer, and got us on the water by like 4 o'clock. What?
Yeah.
Insane.
He made it happen.
I was like, all right, I guess we're not going to fish today. Like, no, we're going to fish.
Yeah,
but you know what? Like, long story, like, I would never be in this business if it wasn't for my dad in the boat business. Because, like, it's hard. It's hard when you don't have that. Because, like, everything's expensive to paint your boat, to do what happened that day. Like, that would have been so expensive for somebody to, for me to get a tow truck to tow it, and then to hire somebody to fix everything.
Sunday morning.
I'm just, yeah, I mean, that would have been
coming to get us on a Sunday morning.
Yeah. Yeah, especially a female, I'd be like, well, you know, what am I going to do?
It's hard enough,
but my dad, I mean, he's just been a blessing. And I just don't know how much longer he's going to be doing that. You know, he's already 67, and I think he wants my brother to keep up with the business. But I just don't know what's going to happen. But at least my brother's there. He knows my dad's taught him everything. So if something, you know, were to happen, my brother would be there to help me out too. So
how mechanically inclined are you, like when it comes to working on boat motors and things of that sort? Did you pick any of that up? You, like yourself?
Yeah, I know a lot about it. Definitely. Like, I know, like, if something were to go wrong on my motor, like, I pretty much have a lot of common sense of what, you know, because we were never privileged with a brand new motor when I was growing up. Something always happened with our motor. And we'd be there, like, my brother and I, one time we were just like, what did Dad do this day? Like, what did he do to make this motor work? And we're like, oh, you just need to, like, do this with the wires or something, and it'll work. And, I mean, so many times we were stranded out there. So I get it, you know.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up with fancy stuff, you know. We grew up with like a used motor that had like probably 1,000 hours on it, you know.
And it worked. It got y'all, yeah.
Worked with what we had. Yeah, it got us out there and still caught fish.
It seems like, yeah, I mean, that's what it is, you know. Like, I know a lot of hot rod guys, and their dads were mechanics from the get-go, but they never had a brand new vehicle, ever, and they still don't, you know. But because of that, because I mean, they're able to fix an engine, they're able to. So it's like they're not afraid to buy used.
Definitely, my dad is not like new stuff. He's like, what is this? Like, there's all new shit, you know. Like, he likes the old stuff where he can just be like, oh, I've seen this before, but all this new technology, he's just like, get rid of it.
Yeah. Keep it simple, huh? Yeah. So.
Keep it very simple. Yes.
So when are you guys getting out on the water again? So I know, Cindy, you talked about wanting to get out for your birthday. Like, what, you're going to go down to and hook up down in the valley?
I would love to do that. I just don't know if that's going to happen this month.
Yeah.
It's a little crazy at work right now, and so I think the next time I'll actually probably leave town will probably be around at the end of the summer when it all kind of tapers down, because now it's not just the Corona stuff, but it's also now we're gonna
Fishing.
pick up the summer season. So yeah, but maybe Ruby can come up here and fish with me.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Out of the
Yeah,
kayak.
Two red snapper season.
No.
Stars,
No. We're gonna hire somebody.
kingfish, wahoo, like go on.
Yeah, that's coming up. Like, actually, in a few weeks, snapper season will open up, and it'll be all summer long. So it'll be another good year of running out there. So
I know my crew, Team Real Therapy, are getting ready for all this season, and hopefully we'll get out there soon to get some stuff done.
yeah, that's my favorite time of year. Kind of early June to be out there is like you can do, especially out of the island. Like you can run out there, you can catch a bunch of offshore fish, come back in, fish the bay on your way in, on your way back. So it's just it's actually my favorite. I'm actually really looking forward to it right now. Hopefully I can get away and do that one last time. So
Hit us
You
up.
gotta get out of Katy
Hit me
though.
up.
It's too far away right now.
the what?
I said you can't do it in Katy though.
No, absolutely no. Well, so my boats are in the valley still right now. So I plan to try to run them down. I was gonna try to. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'll run them, but I'm definitely for snapper season. I'll be running them and trying to.
Oh, you got an offshore boat?
I've got a shallow sport. Yeah, I've got an X3 that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so
I know that.
Yeah, so it's really nice. So you can obviously, like that boat. I mean, I can run that, and I run it with Andy. Andy, whenever I'm going offshore, I hit up Andy. Andy has a lot of experiences, working on and going offshore and kind of taking us out there. So
That's good numbers.
yes, he does. So it's like, hey, Andy, like as soon as we dock, I just start drinking beer, and Andy's got the boat, and we're just gonna hang out, and we're just gonna go out there. And last year, like he put us on some amberjacks, and that was really blast. It was fun. And then this year, Rudy wants us to kind of take his kayak out there with him, and he wants to hook up on one of these jacks while on his kayak. I think that's crazy, but because I know my buddy about went in the water.
Out there?
Yeah, so
It's
we'll
like my friend Miguel. Like he goes out. He's got that Viking kayak, and he's caught tarpon out there.
Y'all have been on some good fish lately.
Yeah.
Jealous daily.
Yes. So that's the plan. I'm looking forward to that and trying to get that. But if that doesn't work out, I'm planning to bring my boat up here to Houston for the summer and then just run it out of Galveston. That's kind of the plan. But first, I prefer to be down in South Padre. So we'll see how that all works out. So just a few.
We're fixing here to get into the kayak scene, so we'll probably be picking your brain here, Cindy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were
Start
chatting.
buying some product.
I know. Hold everything. What do you need to hold on that thing?
It needs to have an ice chest, some cup holders, and
phone mount, GPS mount,
and a radio. Probably that's about it. Just keep it simple.
There you go.
A way to keep my beer cold and a way to bring me back in. But
do you kayak offshore or do you mostly do it inshore off?
No, it's all going to be inshore.
Okay.
Yeah, just regular old kayaking. But before I used to own just a small regular kayak, and now we're thinking of actually going into the whole Hobie thing. So yeah, I mean, I want to get a little more involved with it. I see everybody doing it, man. It's so much fun, and I normally just wade fish, but it's so much easier on a kayak, so much quicker to get back and forth. So it's like
without having the boat, right? Obviously the boat.
Without having the boat, of course. Sam's in Houston, so I can't get on that thing until he gets down.
You're in Houston as well?
Sam is. I'm not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna try to figure it out. So so typically, like when we're running in the bay, like we'll run out of the shallow sport. Then I've got a Hell's Bay, a skiff that we would do some fly fishing out of there. Out of some of the channels in the back, and so. But the thing is, it's hard to find people in the valley that like to fly fish. and so I've got a few buddies of mine and that do it out of Senate.
People in Houston that like to fly fish, so just saying.
Mhm.
Yeah, no. So that's the other thing too, right? So it's like, man, like, and so I don't know any spots out here. It's been a long time since I actually fished out of Houston. I don't know Galveston, but down at the island or down at Port Mansfield, Arroyo, you kind of know how to get around there and pull around and where to go. But over here, it's like so I'm just a little, and then the water's deeper, and it's just like it doesn't. I'm really reluctant to kind of do that over here.
It's definitely a little bit more advantageous down south. But
Yeah.
if you get around here and learn it, there's some really good sight casting for redfish and fly fishing around here and all kinds of stuff, actually, triple tail,
Yeah.
sheep's head on fly, stuff like
Yeah,
that. So.
right now I just want to go fishing, and so tomorrow
Trying to
Yeah.
get a line, man.
Just wanna-
Way.
yeah, like even if it's here at the swimming pool here nearby, it's just like something. But like the other day, I took my my fly rod. I told you we went to this park here in Katy, and there's a Mary Jo Park, whatever it is, and so I'm just practicing, just trying to whatever, and I see a carp come up, and obviously the carp's not going to hit it, and I have my 8 weight with me, and I'm just trying to put it out there, just practicing with it and trying to get it out there. But I think I came pretty close to hooking up. I was looking forward to it, but anyways, I'm gonna go try it again tomorrow just in case, just to
I've
see.
never caught carp. I cannot get a carp to eat to save my
Yeah.
life.
You see him like this guy was he was pretty big. He was maybe like 30 inches. He was just swimming
yeah.
up on top on the water, and I tried side
Nice.
casting at him a few times, and like one time I saw him go like move a little bit, and I thought, yeah, he got it, but nope. But
I was on a business trip one time when I was just when I was working in corporate America, and I always try to find like hotels that are near like a puddle of water somewhere so I can like somehow fish as well. And there was so many carp in that thing, and I could not get one to eat. I was like running back and forth to Target, getting like peanut butter and bread, and like googling stuff, and like, nothing
yeah,
worked.
so if anybody has any tips for how to catch carp, let us know right now,
Right.
because
Let me know, because
apparently they're not that easy to catch, and they don't
not
bite.
for me. I have no idea
Well,
how to catch
most of the people I've seen that get them. I mean, I have a lot of friends that do bow hunt or bow fishing, and they'll get
get
up
'em
there
out.
and they pull them out there, and I mean, you can shoot as many of these as you want with the bow, and they're invasive species in some of the rivers up north where up in Dallas up there they can really get them out there. And but I've never caught one on a rod and reel. So, but Al is saying to use dough, so not peanut butter, but
Oh,
dough. Yeah,
Dough.
dough.
We're
So,
gonna make a dough fly
I
there.
mean, I had like
I know, right?
corn, like whatever I could find, putting it together.
so.
But yeah,
but see, that's crazy, right? Because like even though you're going away for work, you're doing whatever it is, right? Like you
Oh,
try
yeah.
to find a way to like bring you back and normalize and try to find something that
always
likes
have like
you.
a 3 or 4 piece
I mean-
rod in your duffel bag, because you never know any little puddle that's been out there for 2
No
weeks.
kidding. Like this whole COVID, like I was trying to like find somewhere where I could just fish for anything, And Brian told me this one area I can go catch bass. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go. But I didn't have any luck. But it was something
Bass?
different, like
Fun.
a little Ristaka, And I was just
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna try it, and
Yeah.
whatever.
But it's okay. Like
So
even
since
if
we couldn't go like out, all the parks were closed.
Yeah.
So, what's the next best thing? Fish a Risaka.
yeah, and even if you
Yeah,
don't
it's
catch
fishing.
anything, it's fine. You're out there and you're
I'm out
enjoying.
there wetting a line, right?
Yeah, and
I mean,
you don't
you
have.
guys catch fish, but like every time I go weight fishing, I go with the mindset it's like, if I catch something, it's a good day.
Yeah,
if I
I-
catch something.
like-
if I don't catch anything, I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's me. Okay.
Yeah, me too. Like
I'm not. I mean, it's like
All the
I'm not
time.
expecting to catch anything. It's a plus if I do.
it's like
I know.
I already won. Like I'm here fishing today. It's already
Mm-hmm.
a W, and anything else is just gravy on it. So it's absolutely the right mindset. Because
I love going on still days. No wind. I love that.
why is that? You just like because you can sight cast a little
Just-
bit differently, or
I can sight cast them. Yeah, I can use my trolling motor, just kind of sneak up on them, and I'm by myself, and just there's nothing else that I'm listening to because, like, a lot of times these boats are just sitting there like ducks,
It becomes hunting, man. At that point,
Yeah.
it's awesome. It's a different.
But it's silent though. Like you'll hear like a couple boats running around, but it's silent because a lot of them that don't have a trolling motor, well, they're wade fishing, or they're just sitting on their boat drinking beer or throwing bait. Yeah. But it's silent, and you just have time to just think. And I mean, not necessarily think, but you're just out there in nature, and then you're looking at all the fish. You can literally see them like. They're not getting spooked by your boat slapping the water, so it's just easier to sight cast. And you can actually they let you you can actually if you miss it the first time, they'll give you like a second or third try, and you're actually like working it a little differently the next time. And I've got there was this one, like I'll see one redfish and I put the lure right in front of his face and it won't eat it. And I get another chance. I cast it, but I work it a little differently. Doesn't want to eat it. By the third time, I just let it drop right in front of its face and just let it sit there, and it's like, wow, okay. So I love that.
I think those days for you, man, and again, obviously with your brand, I mean, those days are where you get the best ideas for designs and for different things to put on your apparel. Like I like you say, when it comes to the silence and when it comes to different things, I mean, just everything you're doing, those ideas pop into your head, and that's why I kind of love wade fishing, because I'm by myself, and it's like it definitely, you said earlier, it clears your mind. That's number one. And whether you catch a fish or not, man, your mind is 100% clear, and things come up. I mean, just naturally.
Yeah.
That's why you guys asked me that, like, best fishing place. It was Cabo, just because you're one-on-one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You and the rod. And
it sounds like you get a workout while you're out there too. I mean, like
you do get a bit of a workout, but it's quality, not quantity. Yeah. So you finally get something. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and I mean, like you said, like you go out in the bay and you cast, you may catch a trout, a flounder, or a trout or a redfish or something like that, but you're not going to catch like you said there where you were at in Cabo, like you could catch anything, like you literally don't know what you're going to.
There's a time of year too you can actually go down there and catch marlin.
Off the coast.
Yes, run a kayak out from the beach and catch marlin. And that's the thing too with.
Does it drop off immediately?
Oh yeah, it drops off. Definitely drops off. It drops off, and there's kind of some rocky areas. I have this video that I need to share too. I actually caught a big black snook all the way down the beach where nobody was at. Sometimes you like to be alone and fish, and then sometimes you finally catch something, you're like,
where's everybody at?
Nobody's here to see it.
To high five it.
No, I made sure I was screaming and hollering for somebody to come see me. And then I ended up just dragging this fish all the way down the coast. And then I got over there and finally got a double, because actually Wesley was over there catching the cubera at the same time. And so we had a drone up in the air, and you could see that over me, he hears me coming down the thing with a snook hanging on my back. And then Wesley's walking from the other side of the beach, and then we ended up with a double. And you could see that on my Facebook preview.
That's cool.
Yeah. But I mean, those are the best memories, whenever you're out there and you work so hard for something, and then you catch one, and like you said, just being out there and absorbing it all and just being in nature,
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely
cool. It's fishing so bad, you guys.
Well, the thing is,
new story every day.
Like so many people, the thing is, the reality is, we all have our lives. We all live very different lives, and something you need these kind of mechanisms or experiences to help kind of disconnect or escape from kind of the realities. And just a lot of people like to fish, a lot of people like to hunt, some people play golf, some people run, some people do a little bit of everything, right? But regardless of what you're doing and what you're doing it for the same purpose, right? To kind of recharge that battery, recharge that thing, and kind of keep that momentum moving forward.
Yeah, a lot of people that come on my boat, I mean, they're business people or whatever job they have. They just want to get away and turn off their phone, and maybe just vent to me about their their problems at home or whatever. I'm not there to judge anybody. I'm just there to listen, and just maybe they just want me to listen.
So you're kind of like a little bit of a psychologist there, huh? Like,
yeah, because yeah, because they're like, well, I'm never gonna see this girl anyway, or maybe they will, maybe they'll come back, but I'm not gonna, like, who am I gonna tell? They don't know this person or whatever, so.
You're like the bartender of the sea.
Yeah.
Everybody's
for you. Let me mix you a cocktail.
What do you want right there? Right? Yeah. But even at that, like,
when you're fishing, it's like anybody's your friend if they're a fisherman, right? It's very easy to connect with somebody once they say they're a fisherman. So, it's cool. No matter where.
It's funny. Like, I think people just kind of want to even talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I was telling Sam earlier. Like, I have people come into the shop, literally just. And you can tell they're just looking around to make it seem like they want to buy something.
And then they buy something because they were there for like an hour.
Because they literally just turn around and they just start talking about fishing. And I think, and that's something you have to do. You have to sit there and listen to it, but you enjoy the conversation. Like, they want a conversation, and since they can't go, let's go talk about it at least, And it's a cool thing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, definitely. I mean, we talk about this later. Like, you take two people, never met each other, talk about fishing, and it ends up with phones being out, and pictures, and like just stories, and just like there's just something about it that like brings people together, and just whatever it may be. Like, it's just we all enjoy it, and we all like it, and the best we can do is try to share those experiences and kind of share those things like with other people. And in our case, we try to share it in scale with people that our audience or people that may not kind of be into fishing. And as you guys do it, you guys try to kind of get more women into it, right? People that may not necessarily be doing it but have an interest, but just some of those hurdles of getting into it. So it's definitely
first and foremost, you guys are busy, and I want to thank you all for even just considering coming on here. I think you guys have a platform that you may or may not see it, but it's a really cool platform that you see these young female anglers, looking up to you all and seeing what you guys are doing, and not even young female anglers. You're talking about just any female anglers who finally want to get out there and be able to ask another woman angler a question. And the group Laurel started, that page or whatever it is, and you guys are you're doing a great thing for this community, for the angling community in general, not just women, just the angling community in general. And I want to thank you all for coming on here today, for sure.
Yep.
Thank you for
having us. It's
fun.
It's like it's been an hour already. Like,
yeah, no joke.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're kind of babysitting your margarita, or maybe sharing it with your.
I'm a babysitting drink kind of person.
No, I'm just teasing you. No, absolutely. So, but seriously, like, definitely, thanks for coming on here. Thanks for talking to us. Thanks for sharing your part of your story. Definitely, we're all engaged with the content that you guys put out, whether you do it on your own individual platforms or if you do it, through Columbia or other aspects. We're all tuning in, and it's just like, in addition to kind of seeing the women thing, like, it's for me, like, I enjoy seeing like when Ruby's successful, because someone from the valley, someone that's like, hey, like, someone's out there doing it at a different level. And
like, you don't ever think, like, when we're growing up, and people always ask, right, how did you get into fishing, or how did you want to be a professional fisherman? Like, how do you want, like, is this something? No, this is not something. Like, I thought I was supposed to, like, become a doctor. That's what my mom said, right? And those plans failed, and your mom are.
Yeah.
But when I first started doing that too, like, my parents were like, "What are you doing? Like, I know you like to fish, but, like, what are you doing?" Right? And then eventually, they see you in, like, magazines and stores and different things like that. Even Ruby too. The same thing with her. Like, even now, like, I don't think it ever gets old for us. Like, I see stuff like that. Like, Ruby's on Columbia's website right now, and if you go on there, you're just like, God, like, you just never would have thought, like, growing up, that we would get to, like, represent women in an industry, which is a very small industry where everybody knows everybody, and it's been a lot of fun. I really hope that we get to continue to do this,
and I get to meet people like Cindy and and Kelly, and a lot of people that share the same thing as I do. So a lot of good women out there that we can share the same passion with.
Yeah, you definitely get to do it. But I mean, you just keep on doing what you're doing, and by that I mean just like you're keeping it real. Like this is what you love to do. You're not pretending to be someone you're not. Like this is sincerely. Like there's a level of sincerity in what you guys are doing. It's just who you are, and just I mean, keeping it real is probably like what comes to mind. But just keep doing what you guys are doing, and we'll continue to do whatever we can to continue to support, as well as appreciate what the stuff that you guys are doing, not only for the industry but for women and across the board. So,
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, guys, for coming out here, and we'll chat soon, and maybe one day we'll cross paths there at the in Galveston somewhere, or maybe I'll try not to cut your drift, Ruby. If I see you, I try not to cut anybody's drift, but if I do, be mindful. I'm one of the guys who doesn't get out to go fishing very much.
I'll just say hi.
Yeah, just say hi and bye.
With one finger.
With one finger.
With one finger.
That's the way it goes.
Hey, before you go, what's that brand on your shirt? That cockadoodle do thing? What's going on?
Oh, that's ours. That's 7 Day Addiction.
Okay.
So Fabian.
Yeah, that's one of our designs.
Fabian's the artist behind all of our stuff. So anything that
yeah.
So a lot of times we
I
tell
use
Fabian.
the word artist. But...
Yeah, artist, definitely artist.
I've only caught like a little chicken. I need a real rooster fish.
Yeah. So anything, if you can think it, Fabian can put it on paper or on a shirt or whatever you like. So
any way we can help y'all.
All right.
But thanks again, guys, and we'll talk soon.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.